This is the Hype Beast, Hunter Holcraft, and you're listening to the Hypest Podcast and all of the internet, the Sit Down Marks Podcast.
Hey, yo, if I can be serious for a minute.
Oh, yeah!
Acknowledge me.
Gang, motherfuckers, welcome. Come on in, sit down. What's happening, everybody? Episode number 181 of the Sit Down Marks Podcast. We are excited because it is our favorite season in wrestling. In the corporate wrestling, that is. It's Rumble season, man. We're excited. Appreciate everybody joining us today. Appreciate everybody watching on YouTube and Facebook, and also everybody listening on Apple, Spotify, and all those podcast platforms out there. Appreciate everybody subscribing at sitdownmarks.com. You have just found the most easy listening, best kept secret in wrestling podcast. What's going on, boys? I got Primo and Dylan with me today, as usual. What's going on, fellas? How we feeling, Primo?
Pretty good, man. Back for another episode of the flagship podcast, Sit Down Marks Podcast. Ready to talk about some Rumble season. I love it. It's my favorite. Let's go.
What's up, boys? Rumble season. We've been snowed in for, it feels like months. It's been a couple of days. But, I decided if you're going to get snowed in, Rumble week's not the worst time to be snowed in. It's just been one Rumble after another, DVDs, Netflix, wherever you can find it. It's it could be worse. It could be worse. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, definitely could. So, at least, being the crappy time of year, if you will, for weather, at least we get, this stuff to get happy and excited about in the professional wrestling world. So, lots of things going on, lots of moving parts. The WWE is out in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia for the Royal Rumble. So we're going to be talking about that, being out there. That's different. We're going to have the Royal Rumble on at 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday. So it's just going to be a little different. It's going to be a little bit of, some adjustments here. But let's kick this thing off, Primo, if you're ready, man. It's hot start time. How about 5 topics in the world of pro wrestling?
Let's go.
Topic number 1. So we kind of talked a little bit of the company ESPN right before we went live here. But, is there any clout to this? We've seen there may be some legal action, with ESPN making you pay extra outside of their paywall to use WWE. Is this a hoax? Is there a little bit of clout to this? Primo, what do you think?
Who's the lawsuit by? By the people?
I don't know. It just says, it's just, I don't think there's been a source cited, but I've seen a lot of people maybe sharing the post that, I guess maybe, something might be going on underground. I don't know.
I could see how, before when they originally made the very quick switch, by the way, to ESPN, they made it seem like, oh, don't worry, you want to kind of like how UFC did with Paramount, and what they really did with UFC, where we just watched a pay-per-view the other day, and I didn't have to pay any extra for my subscription. That's kind of what they advertised when they first did the ESPN deal, but as we all know, that's not the case. When we went to go click on that first ESPN WrestlePalooza, and it flagged us with that $29.99 additional fee.
Yeah, got him.
Yeah, and then of course, being us wrestling fans, we're like, well, no, F you.
Right? No.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. As far as any, I don't know, benefit, any payoff. Right. That's a good word. Payoff for the lawsuit. Like Primo was kind of saying, it was all very quick. It was like, hey, we're on Peacock till the end of the year.
Sure.
We're going to be on ESPN, and but don't worry, if you have YouTube TV, you'll be good. And then so there's been a whole, and on ESPN itself, you got the ESPN, or it used to be ESPN Plus,
right?
It's different from whatever this new ESPN is. So I think you got people having to pay for 2 of them. I've seen people watching tennis. I don't know why you'd watch tennis, but there are people watching tennis that have to pay for like ESPN Plus and the new ESPN just to watch the same tournament.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, UFC, like Primo said, UFC is out here talking about how many millions they just made by not having a paywall.
Yeah.
And, it is the same parent company. So I don't know how long that ESPN deal is, how binding it is, if they can get out of that, if they can get out of the paywall on ESPN.
Yeah.
I
think the networks make the price because Dana, with Dana White too, and he was like kind of surprised a little bit that Paramount was offering it at that cheaper price, but I mean, I'm sure they gained millions of followers, millions and millions. I mean, if you've listened to this podcast, you know that I'm very upset about this $29.99 for ESPN. I have not paid it. I've watched it separate ways. This is in other ways. This is kind of like, I mean, it's turned me off a little bit on WWE too. You know what I mean? And I don't know that I'm gonna watch the Rumble live. You know what I mean? So, and that's how kind of strongly I feel about it, because I'm just if I bought it, it would be kind of like paying the $29.99, then turn around and canceling the subscription right after. You know what I mean? And I think this is the pay-per-view that they're really gonna see these numbers fall down. Now, who knows what they'll show us, but it can't be close to what it used to be, right?
Yeah.
Just one other. Sorry, go ahead, Primo.
No, go ahead.
Okay, one other quick thing on it. I noticed this past Saturday watching the UFC when it started. Okay, there was a bunch of commercials, right? And at the beginning, I was kind of like, "Man, this is there's a ton of commercials." But then finally, it clicked for me that I was like, "There's a ton of commercials because I didn't have to pay $80 for a pay-per-view."
Right?
So they're going to make their money, but they're going to make it on advertisements instead of us watching it commercial free for $80. Okay, ESPN, you still pay the $30. And you got, 10 minutes of commercials between every match, for 15 different things every match. So it's this pay-per-view has 5 matches and it's costing me $30. Then it's still 3.5 hours long. One or the other. Charge us and don't show us commercials, or don't charge us and show us an hour worth of commercials. Pick or choose.
Yeah. I think that overall, I mean, and I've been a WWE diehard forever, and I still tune into Monday Night Raw live, but I feel like unfortunately they're making it more and more inaccessible to the average WWE audience, whether it's through their multiple streaming platforms that they're on, because they're not just on ESPN, they're also on Netflix. So you got to have multiple subscriptions just to watch them. And then on top of that, you can't even go to a show because the ticket prices are soaring.
Yeah. Dude, you're hitting a nail on the head. And these are all the things that are turning me off too. I'm going to still watch, Raw because I have Netflix. I'm still going to watch SmackDown because, it's already in the things that I already have. Right. But to pay extra, to want me to pay that extra, to be that much of a fan, I don't know, dog.
Right. That's I mean, the average guy can't just still take his family to a show anymore.
No.
Poor Primo's racking up frequent flyer miles, flying to Europe constantly, watching all these pay-per-views and Saturday night's main events. Man, it's got him running crazy over here.
All right, topic number 2. Man, I really love this last week. This just touched my independent heart, man. So if you watched Limitless Wrestling last week, we got to see it was being advertised that MJF was on the show, right? I think he defended the title against Alec Price, right?
Yes.
So but after it was over, everybody knows Alec in the independent world, Alec and Jordan Oliver, who's just 2 of the top prospects that's been out there for quite a while now, and it was cool to see an AEW champion, corporate professional wrestling champion, come down to the independents. Now, Limitless is one of the top independents. It is, you know what I mean? But to allow him to come down, award these boys a contract, an AEW contract, and just, to me, what was everything was that he come down, right? And it's not that they were getting a contract. It's not that they were, advertised for a match or something like that. MJF came down and, he let these boys celebrate in front of basically us. You know what I mean? Like the independent world, the independent fans. Man, I wish stuff like this happened more often because it's like a recognition. It's a tip to the cap to the indies. You know what I mean? That for somebody like MJF as the champ to come down, AEW, Tony Khan for letting it happen. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. I mean, obviously, LA Price and Jordan Oliver were getting contracts, so then this was the way they wanted to do it. But to be able to do it in front of, that'd be like one of our top Dreamwave stars coming down and getting it in front of our eyeballs and being able to see it, and that kind of stuff. But man, I thought that was just one of the coolest things. Like, these guys had earned it. Obviously, it just warmed my heart in the most independent dad way. You know what I'm saying? I guess you know what I mean. To see hard work paying off. The champ of the world coming down to present you with his contract. Stuff like this don't happen too often. I know you watched it, Dylan. What'd you think, brother?
Yeah, so MJF is like top dog in AEW, right? We see different AEW people, some of the Ring of Honor people, we still see them fairly frequent on the indies, depending on the person. Not all of them, but some of them fairly frequent. But it's not, MJF. So just having him, at the show, be wrestling on the show, that's a huge get right there. And him and Price killed it. And then, like you said, like doing that whole speech and giving them the contracts right there live in front of the crowd. And then following it up with them having 2 matches on TV last week, Dynamite and Collision. Now, part of that was probably due to, they had to tape both shows in one night due to the weather, but still they got 2 killer matches on TV. And, they easily could have not done that in front of the crowd, brought them to TV, gave them contracts, maybe did something on social or, maybe even more people saw it, but it wasn't in front of that live crowd, that live atmosphere. And just 2 great singles and as a team. They have just, Price and Jordan have been killing it for, years at this point. Happy to finally see it happen. Good for them. Couldn't be happier.
I have a little technical difficulty there. All right, let's hop on over. Topic number 3, Primo. Let's go to you for this one, man. Did TNA fumble their first episode on AMC? I feel like kind of like, boy, did they? But I'm gonna ask your opinion.
Yeah. I would say, in short, yes. I mean, it's it's easy to be harsh considering we're not the ones doing it, but
sure.
At the same time. Man, I mean, it was promoted for pretty good, and how many networks have they been on at this point, and how long they've been around? They know what what a first impression they need to make, and the the whole episode, the first episode was it kind of went over kind of meh for everybody.
Yeah, Dylan, I know you thought the same.
Yeah. We're recording this, like 2 weeks later, pretty much. If we were recording it in the moment, you'd be getting a completely different Dylan reaction here. They talked it up. They hyped it up so much. Our first episode on AMC is the biggest night in TNA history. It's total nonstop action, and you had 3 matches and like an hour and a half of commercials. That's not total nonstop action. Now, I did – after the show, kind of give back a little bit because they were supposed to have that Leon Slater Myron Reed match. Leon couldn't make it because of visa issues. You can't control that. Mm-hmm. You can probably control advertising somebody whose contract's coming up and is about to jump to a different promotion, but that's a whole different story. But if they had Leon Slater and Danny Luna was another one that was supposed to be on the show but had a visa issues, like if you put those 2 segments back in the show, that doesn't leave so much filler space with like the celebrities they were shooting in front of nobody, that nobody knew who they were, different random stuff like that. That would have helped. But you don't get points for almost or what if, you get points for what you delivered. Yeah. And it just was not a great premiere show. Now, they did follow up with a good pay-per-view. Last week's show, week number 2, that was pretty solid. I think once they get back like into a normal groove, they'll be fine. But you just can't count on TNA to deliver like in the big moments anymore. Like that ball's passed.
Yeah, come on, TNA. We got to do better here. We got to do better. All right. Topic number 4, boys. A lot of moving parts are happening right now. We're seeing Tommaso Ciampa's contract expiring. We're hearing Will Hobbs is about to show back up in, or not back up, to show up in WWE. Jericho might show back up in WWE. I'm even hearing rumors that the Iconics might be in talk would come back to the WWE. So lots of moving parts, man. Which one of these are you excited about? Or which one of these are drawing the headline for you the most, Primo?
I mean, obviously the biggest name is Jericho.
Right.
But I would also be very interested to see what kind of program they put Will Hobbs into. He's a powerhouse, big hoss dude, and he could just. There's so many matchups you could put him. Whether they put him on, I see him probably going to NXT. But
Oba.
I'm excited for him, and then why just obviously if Jericho comes around, we know it's his final run, so that'll be bittersweet as well. And he's one of my favorites of all time. So
yeah,
I echo that with Jericho. Like this might kind of bleed into the Royal Rumble discussion, but with Jericho, it's kind of like time to shit or get off the pot. You know, like we've been 6 months or so. Like, oh, Jericho might show up at this pay-per-view. Like, are you coming back or not? Like the longer,
right.
what are we doing? But the Iconics, I'm not surprised. I was surprised they got cut from WWE however many years back that was. And they both took times to be a mom, which is great and wonderful. And they came back to TNA and kind of like, re-got their career going and have been on the NXT crossover shows. So that doesn't surprise me at all. I think like half the TNA roster, quit at the beginning of the year. The Iconics are gone. We've seen Jake Something show up in AEW. 3 of the Rascals. I was supposed to wear a Jake Something shirt tonight, and I realized it was stained. That's a whole different. My mind's in a completely different place on that one. And now I need a Jake Doyle shirt, I guess. But Matt Cardona is showing back up in WWE. I'm not sure we mentioned that one. Like as Matt Cardona, not as Zack Ryder. That's pretty cool. It felt like a free agent season almost. Like. Oh, these people are showing up in AEW. So-and-so's back in WWE. Who's TNA going to get? Like it's kind of cool and kind of weird that all these contracts were up at the same time and everybody's just jumping ship to different places.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Jericho.
You just made the list.
It's probably like been the most like dominating, of the of the headlines, and Hobbs is kind of like we know, he's going to show up. But man, for me right now. Man, the Indies were good when Tommaso Ciampa was on them, man. You know what I mean? Like he was pretty hot on the Indies. I'd love to see him come back or at least have a contract to where he can do the Indies and work, elsewhere. So I'm hoping for, I mean, he's got to come back to the Indies, man. He's got so much love. Chicago loves him, so we'll see about Ciampa there. All right. Topic number 5, final one, boys. We're just going to fantasy book here. I'm going to ask you guys to give me one name because, the AJ Styles retirement is coming up. The talk is happening a lot, So if you could book AJ's last match, who is that person going to be against? Now, for me, I'll give you guys a second to think about it because I've had time to think about it. So for me, man, like I feel like his last match, like, sentimentally, I feel like Christopher Daniels makes the most sense. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But like, I feel like the match to go out because I think these two would really put on a show. Give me AJ versus Samoa Joe on the way out. I mean, it can't happen, right? Because of different companies, but that would be the one I'd want to see on the way out. So, Dylan, why don't you start us off on that one?
DB says, boys, give me one name, and he takes the top 2. Like, what are we supposed to do with that? Like, before you said it, like if it was possible, and I don't think it is, if you could do a 3-way, I know you said one name, but if you could redo the Joe Daniels AJ triple threat, no, it's not going to be Unbreakable 2005 all over again, or 20 years past that. But it would still be fun. Yeah, that would be. I'm going to cheat and just take the same 2 you said. They're that's the answer. It's AJ Daniels and Joe. That would be the triple threat. Would be my answer.
Yeah, and if we're staying just in the realm of WWE TNA, I mean, we've had Kazarian vying for he just had the belt.
That's a good one too.
You know, at some point this year, maybe AJ got one last run at the belt, and then Kazarian takes it off him. That'd be a good.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah,
within WWE, I'd say someone like KO, Cody, or Finn.
Yeah,
for two of those for obvious reasons.
Sure. I mean, 48 years old. You know, man, like AJ could have some awesome matches with some people in AEW, and AJ would fit in over on that roster like a glove. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so, but I don't see that happening. Retiring from WWE and going back, maybe retiring, you know what I mean? But he's 48. It's not like he's retiring at 40. You know, maybe then I would believe it. But all right, boys, that's going to do it for the hot start, Primo. It is time for the dropkick discussion, man. We got a little Royal Rumble to talk about. Before we do, let's hear from the SCW Pro champion himself, the Dark Horse, John Bonhart.
Dark Horse.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am the Dark Horse, John Bonhart, and this is the Sit Down Marks podcast.
All right, 2026 Royal Rumble, Saturday morning, basically morning for us. 2:00 start time on the East Coast, so 1:00 here for Dylan and I. Back in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Now, let me tell you what, love. You heard me say this tons of times. Love me some daytime wrestling. You know what I mean? So, this is the motivation maybe that, would possibly get me to seek out somewhere to watch it. But, definitely our favorite time of year. We're excited for this. We'll save our Rumble predictions for, the end. But let's start with the matches though that have been announced. Not many. Drew McIntyre, the champ for the WWE Championship, versus Sami Zayn. You guys see any kind of, changeover? I don't. Not this quickly. I think Drew retains somehow, but they're going to find a way to keep Sami up here, I think, a little bit. But what do you guys think about this one, Primo?
I agree with you. I think that Drew retains and Sami does not win. Now, there might be some kind of schmoz fest going on to where it continues the storyline, but I agree with you that Drew keeps the belt here.
Yeah, I'm the same. Now, it's crazy, like 3 weeks ago, none of us would have even guessed this match was happening. It's how fast Drew won the title and the story came together. They've been talking about how Sami's never beat Drew, so I don't see that happening now. I see them continuing to build that, like, Sami can't beat Drew. And I think Sami and Kevin both, we saw it was Kevin last year, they kind of have that Mick Foley spot where they are like the perfect person to put in a title feud on the way up to Mania. Like, give that heel champ or the babyface in Cody's case last year a good, strong opponent on the build when everybody's watching that's not actually going to take the title. I think one day Sami gets it. Maybe that's even against Drew when Drew's like 20-0 against Sami. Maybe Sami finally gets that win. But I don't see it changing on Saturday, whatever day.
Yeah.
It is just one night, right? Or one day, right?
Yeah. And it's Saturday. We used to be in Sunday, so because it'd be Saturday night time there.
Outdoor show too, DB.
Yeah, outdoor show. Yeah. Did they have to build this place? It looks like.
That's what I heard.
Holy hell. Good Lord, man.
Just to throw it out there, like,
crazy.
If Turkey's listening, I'm still willing to fly. If you'll fly me out there, I'm still willing to go sit in front row. Like, I'll go. Just show me the money, Turkey. Let's go.
Yeah. All right. So the only other match advertised, I believe, as of now, is we just got done talking about him. AJ Styles versus Gunther. If Styles loses, he has to retire. What are your thoughts on this one, Dylan? Start us off.
I think AJ Styles retires. I do. I think this is it. At first, I was like skeptical and no way. Like, he said he's going to retire in 2026. You can't give him like a month and call it over. But then I kind of got thinking about what he's been doing like the past year. He had a match with Cody. He won the tag titles with Dragon Lee. He had that last title run. He's been feuding with Finn, the Judgment Day. I don't think you do Gunter or John Cena any good in having that finish a month ago just to have Gunter lose a month later. And everybody's not going to get the Cena treatment where we know a year and a half out that they are finishing up on this exact date. Not everybody we're not going to do that for AJ and then again for Orton and then again for Jericho. Some of these are just going to come out of nowhere. And, we got the Nakamura match a week ago. We got the Punk match on Monday. Either he's retiring or they did a great job. Yeah. Either he's done or they've done a great job of making me think he's done. I think Gunter goes over.
Okay, but nobody comes out to help him. Nobody comes out to help him get the win. Some screwy finish that still protects Gunter is my question. No.
I don't think so.
Okay. Primo, you?
I don't think so.
So I'm going to go the other way here. I'm going to say wrestling fans have the memory of a goldfish. We're supposed to anyway.
I think we do.
And, I'm going to forget about what happened a month ago with John Cena. And in John Cena's words, 2 weeks after he's gone, nobody will care. But anyway.
John who?
Exactly. Right. So anyway, no, I don't want AJ to be done yet. So I'm holding on faith that this isn't his last match. But I mean, you're right. You are right.
I don't want it to be, but that's
the way
how I
it has
feel.
been lining up.
Yeah.
That Shin match and that Punk match.
Sure.
Just freaking great.
I mean, yeah. And for us looking into it, that looks perfect. You know what I mean? It looks right. I'm going to say that if it's AJ Styles is such a big star that if this was going to be his last match, it's going to be advertised as his last match. This is it. No matter what, I go out. So I'm going to say something screwy happens. And because, okay, so this match probably happens, they open the card with this or they book in
probably the
Rumbles, assuming. Right? Yeah. So if this happens in the middle, right? So AJ Styles loses, retirement, waves everybody, crowd is down. Oh man. You know what I mean? And then, and then that's kind of the story of the night, despite whatever the Rumble is. So I don't know. I'm just thinking I
got two quick things. One, my only negative that I don't think this will be his last match is that it's in Saudi and just having, some Southern Georgia boy have his last match in Saudi Arabia. Those vibes feel off, but that's my only big negative.
They don't feel off. They are off.
Yeah. Okay. True. The last thing I have on it, I wish I remembered where I heard it. I'd give the guy credit, but the funniest outcome is AJ losing and retiring. And then he shows up as a surprise in the Royal Rumble as WWE legend AJ Styles. Not because people retire and then they show up in the Rumble all the time. Normally, a year, 5 years, 10 years later. But if, in the span of an hour, they had WWE legend graphics and a video board and went super hard on this isn't, just retired AJ Styles. This is WWE legend, former champion, had 10 years in WWE. Right. That would be the funniest outcome, but they can't do that.
He just ended his career earlier tonight against Gunther.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that because I also have two things. Number one, I did see a thing circulating around where he said he'd be retiring from his career in WWE. So he'd be retiring from WWE specifically. So then they're like, well, why can't he? So then he can go finish the rest of his year out in TNA. There's that. Also, by the way, personally, I don't really want this whole career ender gimmick to keep going with Gunther. I don't want him to be known as that, where it's Goldberg, then John Cena, then AJ, then probably Jericho, then whoever else next. That's not what I want to know Gunther for. So the sooner we can get him to stop doing that, the better to me.
What if there's some kind of screwy finish and AJ ends up winning, but then Gunther comes back and wins the Rumble and he's back up again?
I thought about that too.
You know? Yeah. Yeah, because I feel like they got a hard on for Gunther right now, and like, so I don't know. I just keep feeling like I don't know. I just feel like if this is going to be AJ's match, this one will be advertised because there'll be a lot more eyeballs on it, than Royal Rumble's going to have a lot of eyeballs, but I feel like the old schoolers, the old TNA diehards might dig up, come watch this match. But all right, let's move on to surprises. Any surprises you guys think will happen in the women's or the men's? Now, obviously, Jericho's the big one. What if the music don't hit? You know what I mean? Like, are we going to be disappointed?
I wouldn't say I'd be disappointed. I don't know. I think I'd be more surprised if he does, because you never know till you know. But for the third year in a row, I'm going to advocate for Moose showing up. So and
see his turn.
Yeah, exactly. Also, I think we'll probably get a Soul Snatcher from Soul Ruka.
Yeah.
And
she did a double one the other night. It was sick.
I think we'll get at least. I think we'll get more from TNA than we were used to.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I didn't go on dirt sheets, but I did a little bit of just looking to see who is booked where this weekend kind of thing. So NXT's running house shows here in the States this weekend, which seems weird on Royal Rumble weekend, but it's happening. But Soul Ruka is not on the poster. Lola Vice is not on the poster. Neither one of them were on NXT last night. So I'm expecting both of them to be in the women's Rumble. Primo mentioned TNA. I was going to say the Hardys, but I don't know if Jeff can travel overseas. I don't know the legality to all of that. So maybe Matt, but if you just bring Matt, is that enough on his own? Does he have to be broken Matt? I don't know about that.
V1.
V1.
That would be sick. That Hardy version 1 showing up.
Matt Hardy.
Maybe you got Shannon Moore with him.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe Joe Hendry, we saw him last year. Maybe Joe Hendry. I really think Mr. Iguana from AAA. I think he'll show up. I've mentioned 5 or 6 people already, and I feel like we get to this spot every year where we know there's only 30 people in the Rumble, and we have 60 possible surprise entrants. The math just ain't math in here. So I don't know if all those people. If you want to count them as a surprise, I don't know if I'm jumping ahead too far, but injured people coming back. Tiffany Stratton's on the poster. I'm not sure if she's injured or not, but we haven't seen her in a while. I think Tiffany might show up.
She won Money in the Bank, right? Before it wasn't wasn't a Rumble.
Yeah, it was Money in the Bank a couple years ago. We haven't seen LA Knight since he got taken out by 25 tsunamis in the back.
Yeah.
I think LA Knight, dummy. I think he could show up. And I think we see Bianca Belair in the women's. Yeah, we haven't seen her since WrestleMania. I think she'll show up.
Yeah.
One more. Sorry, DB. One more. I almost skipped over. Been a lot of rumor about Paige. I don't know. Maybe this is the year we see Paige show back up. She hasn't been on AEW in a minute. She's gone from there. This could be if they don't have all the NXT women available because it is overseas. I don't know if they have enough on the roster to fill 30 spots. Maybe we do see somebody like Paige show up.
Yeah. They just have so many rosters to pull from now. They can pull from TNA. They can pull from AAA, their own. You know what I mean? So, to me, it kind of takes the classic Drew Carey spot out, or the maybe Kane comes back. You know what I mean, or something like that. So I hope they still do at least 1 or 2 of those. It just has to.
It is in Saudi, so you can't rule out Undertaker winning it, or Kane showing up, or Triple H and Shawn Michaels coming back. All of these are possibilities.
Whoever they want to see, they get.
Yeah. They have that Saudi money.
Yeah. All right, boys.
Shawn Michaels comes out at number 1.
That's the whole way.
All right, boys, let's get to it, man. It is Royal Rumble time. Let's start with the women. So how are we going to do this format is we're going to pick 3, and we're going to pick out of those 3 or each one of us are going to have 3 suggestions that we think will win, and we're going to pick one out of those that we think will win, and then you can even throw a fourth out. Or I guess technically, a fourth out is just kind of a shot out of left field if you have any. So, tell you what, why don't I go first? So I usually throw it to you guys first. Why don't I go first this time? So, all right, let's start with the women's though. Okay, so I feel like Raquel's gotten a little push lately. You know what I mean? They kind of been talking about her a lot. They're, dubbing her this big sexy nickname. She's probably one that I think is like my long toss, like my one out of left field. I think, possibly. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's just kind of one. Eventually, I think they're going to give her a push. She's gotten a lot better, size and talent. The mic skills still need some work, but so my 3 that I'm going with are Rhea Ripley, because I think if she would win, there'd be some good beef there with Stephanie Vicaire, with anticipation. Second one is, I feel like this, if Liv won, this would be that would give her a lot of steam. That would eventually, would lead back to, they're gonna have to do Liv Rhea again, because that kind of got shut off a little bit, like when Liv got hurt. So, she kind of makes sense to me. But the third one I think is going to win it, because is Lyra Valkyria. I think they got a lot of stock in her. I think Becky's really pushing for her. I think, with Becky, with her winning the belt and then Becky winning it back, this would kind of like be a way to give her a little bit of a push. And I'm not like 100% like believing myself that I think Lyra's going to win. I don't know. I'm just like watching little, the way they talk to each other in little bitty snippets and, trying to catch small little, things to like tip me off. But for whatever reason, man, I think Lyra Valkyria is going to win.
Okay.
Primo, who you got for the women?
All right. So my 3 that I think are going to be my 3 options here are, I just went blank. No, I'm kidding.
Good shot. Good
Tiffany
shot.
Stratton, Tiffy Time is definitely a good pick here. I think personally. Also, I do agree with Raquel. Raquel has a solid shot. She's been on the rise. And then my third pick here is to finally let Alexa Bliss win. And she's my pick for the winner.
Okay.
Oh,
I did not even
I like that.
Think about her. I mean, definitely not Charlotte. Charlotte's definitely not winning, but I didn't even think about that. Excuse me. Yeah, I definitely didn't think about that. Let me contemplate that.
Yeah. So I don't have Alexa. She and Charlotte did cross my mind, but I think this has not been reported. If this happens, say you heard it here first on the Sit Down Marks podcast. I think they're doing a women's tag team elimination chamber match because they've got all these women's tag teams up right now. So that, in my mind, that keeps Charlotte and Alexa and Asuka and Rhea and Io like all out of winning the Rumble. I think they're really pushing the tag titles right now. I don't know if that carries over to Mania or not. My number 3 is kind of on the out of left field, kind of not. I'm going Chelsea Green as my number 3. They haven't really.
Boy, that'd be a big pop, boy, especially from us in the States.
It would be a huge pop. Everybody loves her. They've not really treated her like seriously on TV. She's been more of a comedy mid-card title, but she is on everything.
Yeah.
Raw, SmackDown, NXT. I've not watched Unreal, but I know she had like a big part in maybe both seasons, I think, if I've heard right. I don't think it'll happen, but man, it would be sick if Chelsea won the Rumble. My number 2, guys, we're just on opposite sides of the same page. I'm picking Liv Morgan to win the Rumble, but I think I think
Raquel.
Raquel. Thank you, Primo. I think Raquel beat Stephanie on Monday. They have a Philly street fight for the title, which is odd that Raquel's in the Rumble if she already has a guaranteed street fight, but we won't worry about that. True. I think Raquel wins the title, not the Rumble, and it looks like Raquel's going to be champ and Liv's going to go challenge Jade, and then Liv does the double cross maybe on all of Judgment Day, maybe on Raquel, and we get that payoff. Judgment Day finally implodes. We get that at Mania. But my number one, the one I feel strongest about, I think is Bianca's Rumble. She has won it before. I don't think we've seen her since Mania. That seems right. I could be wrong. I think Bianca shows back up. It's a huge pop. She's, the fastest, the strongest, the quickest. Any word you can put EST behind, she has it. I think she wins, and I think she goes after Jade, and we finally get that Jade-Bianca blow-up at Mania. Yeah, I'd rather see Liv. I really do like Primo's Alexa. That is sitting with me. I like Alexa winning, but I think it's going to be Bianca.
Nate, fan of the podcast, by the way. Thanks for tuning in with us today, Nate. He says Bianca or Liv, like we just talked about. I like either one of those. So to be a little hypocritical here, I'm a Charlotte Flair fan, right? And anytime she wins, I'm happy about it. So with that being said, I want it to be somebody new this year. I want to be somebody new that hasn't won before. I'm even okay with Lyra. I'd be okay with Liv. I just don't really care for Bianca winning. I don't really care. No, that's just preference, storyline, whatever. But
frankly, I agree with you. That's just what I think.
I just kind of feel like we would say it's going to be a little bit of a rinse and repeat if we see Bianca win. But
I agree. Yeah, like I said, I'd rather see Liv. I really like Primo's Alexa idea. That one is really sitting with me.
So Primo, Alexa,
Primo on this one.
Yeah, Dylan takes Bianca, and I'm going to take Lyra. All right, let's run to the boys here. All right. So men's predictions here. Same thing once again. 3 of your top ones. Pick one. One out of left field. Dylan, why don't you start us off? We'll go backwards this time.
Okay, I'm gonna go with my left field pick first. I hope I'm right on this one. It would be incredible. He's so over right now. He's a true, real man. Feel it in his motion. Feminine fire. Yeah, he's the topic. It's Kit Wilson. Give me Kit Wilson. Is that out of left field, or maybe is it a fastball right down center plate? It's Kit Wilson's here. Forget WrestleMania. This is Kit Wilson going all the way to WrestleMania. But I guess if we have to be serious, so I'm just gonna be honest. I do not have a good grasp on the men's Rumble.
It's
what you were just saying. I hope I'm wrong about Bianca, but I'm feeling really good about it. I hope I'm wrong. The men's, I have no idea. So my number, Seth is another one. Is he showing up? Is he not? Who knows? My number 3, I'm going to go with Gunter, just because right now, no matter the match, you have to pick Gunter as a possibility. I have had the thought, I think it was DB that mentioned earlier, it may have been Primo, but AJ goes over in that match and then Gunter comes back and wins the Rumble and gets all that heat back. You can't rule that out. You can't rule out him winning both if they're just really shoving Gunter down our throats as a bad guy. You can't rule him out winning both of them. But he's my number 3. My only problem is, I guess you could do him and Punk again, but we just saw that at SummerSlam. I don't know there's a good title match that fits him, but we're getting down the line there. But Gunter's my 3. My number 2, and maybe this will be a left field pick, but I'm going as number 2 as Oba Femi. We haven't seen him actually debut on the main roster. They've been showing vignettes for a month now.
Be a fucking hell way to debut him, wouldn't it?
It did pop up that he is debuting in the Rumble. They did announce that on Raw.
Yeah.
And if you remember that Cena's Saturday Night Main Event, Cena's last match, it's Oba and Cody. It's a non-finish. Drew McIntyre runs in, causes the DQ or double, whatever they called it. Now Drew's got the title. If Cody and Fatu are busy, maybe Oba comes up, wins the Rumble. Maybe Oba goes after Drew. Yeah, that's a hell of a way to start. That's probably too much too soon, if we're being honest. But like I said, I don't have a good grasp. I'm just kind of throwing out names.
Sure.
And my number 1, I'm going Roman. Kind of the same thought as Gunter. You can't have Roman in a match and not like halfway expect him to win.
Yeah.
They haven't done that Roman Punk singles match yet, and they've been teasing it off and on for a while. You could even go Roman Drew because they have history if you wanted to go that route. But we haven't seen him in a while. I'm gonna raise those number ones back to this guy. We're gonna go Roman as my number one. Roman as my pick.
All right, Primo, who you got?
All right. So Roman was actually one of my picks. So good on you there, Dylan. Roman was probably going to be my like left field pick or the one that because nobody's been talking about Roman. So it's a little more unexpected right now. He's not in our thought process. However, he's due. And he already said before, last time we saw him, when he comes back, he's going for the title.
Sure.
Again. So there's Roman. Every year I've said AJ, but AJ's kind of busy this night. So I'm not going to say him this time, although I would love for him to win.
That'd be a story.
I would also like someone like a Finn Balor to win. That would be amazing. It would help cure all of our dark hearts that are out there mourning for Finn Balor's only Universal title run. And then there's a possibility of someone getting their third Royal Rumble win in tying Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I'm not talking about Cody Rhodes. I'm talking about Randy Orton.
Swerve. Yeah,
but
man.
my number one to actually win. Let me talk to you because LA Knight,
yeah,
he's gonna win the Royal Rumble.
All right, I dig it.
Can I ask a question real quick, Primo? Do you think Finn's in the Rumble? Like on Raw, they said, which just has never happened before, but Adam Pearce all of a sudden's like, oh yeah, we're full. We don't have room for you. Do you think he finds his way in there? Maybe he takes out somebody or whatever. Do you think we see him or not?
I think he does somehow manage to get in.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. I thought it was weird how Adam Pearce went to the ring and was like, the entire Vision's in.
Yeah.
So,
right. Let's take up all those spots. All right. So I'm the only one left. So here we go. All right. So my off and left field pick out of nowhere. Eventually they're going to give this dude a huge win. Logan Paul. How agitating would it be if that dude had a briefcase? How fun would it be if when Seth comes back, one of his members has the briefcase? We got a little beef there. You know what I mean? So that would be fun. So that one's kind of like my off in the distance. My number 3. There for a while they were really putting in some stock to Sami Zayn about being the champion, that kind of stuff again. I think he loses to Drew, and there's still storyline there if he would end up, with the briefcase. I just feel like I have to mention him. Second, I think, what of like, not that he needs an arrival, but what a night would it be if Gunther retired AJ and then won the Rumble too? You know what I mean? So, that's big. That would like establish him as like, one of the dominant guys. But my number 1 pick, man,
to the twos and we the ones.
A shot in the arm is what WWE needs, I think, with Cena going away. And like they ain't a whole lot for advertisers right now. Bring Roman back, tracksuit Roman if you got him back there somewhere.
TSR.
Yes, TSR. Bring him back, man. And now we got instant adrenaline. Now people are paying attention again. Roman's the most, he's the most over dude. Like as soon as that hits before his music starts, people go nuts. There's already ones in the air before that second doo-doo hits. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah.
So I feel like, for business, for interest, I'm not super excited about seeing him winning. Like I said, I would like to see somebody new, maybe, you know what I mean? But
acknowledge me.
I think it's going to be Roman. So, Yeah, so we all agreed on Roman, huh?
Yeah,
Right,
Roman
yeah.
being at the
Okay.
top there.
If not Kit Wilson, then yeah, Roman.
I do like that
Like-
none of us said Brock. Brock did say today he's
Yeah.
going to be there.
Yeah.
Braun Breaker's another one. None of us mentioned Braun Breaker at all, and that kind of
Right.
surprised me. But
Yeah, I
He
don't
did
know. I
cross
just
my
don't
mind.
think not. Yeah, I just don't think not yet. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just feel like
I think Braun and Brock is actually the Mania match.
Ooh.
Now I'm interested.
I just
You
now
see what I'm
thought of them
saying?
two in the ring at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Which I picked Bianca and Roman. Like how, like by the book, like 2022
Right.
easy layup booking am I? Like,
Well,
oh
another
yeah,
thing I was
Roman
thinking
and
about, too,
Bianca.
is
There's my going out on a limb.
needs
Roman and
another
Bianca are
victory.
winning.
Last
Say
time
it again.
Roman won the Rumble, he was booed.
yes, he does need
Like,
the
Booing doesn't do it justice. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
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 All right, boys. Well, that's going to do it for the Royal Rumble talk. We're coming right back here next week to see how our picks did and to talk about everything that happened in Riyadh. All right, man. It's time to go home, boys. Let's have a word from Mr. Havens to take us there.
Hey guys, this is Mr. Havens, the Argyle assassin himself, giving them all the shivers. And you're listening to DB, Primo, AJ here on the Sit Down Mark podcast, the best podcast for professional wrestling.
I want to remind everybody to follow at Sit Down Marks on all those socials and follow at Sit Down Marks podcast on Instagram. Make sure you go over there and make sure you head on over to sitdownmarks.com and give us a subscribe if you don't mind. Really appreciate it. All right, Dylan, what you got going on this weekend, man? What's happening in independent wrestling? What you got for us?
Yeah. So I get my first show of the year this week, finally. Last weekend's Glory Pro show got moved to this Friday. A little bit of a change to the card. Main event stays the same. Cody Lane defending the Crown of Glory against a returning Mike Outlaw and Raheem De La Suede. Revolution challenging Bang and Matthews for the tag titles. Shazza McKenzie versus Heather Reckless. We got Maggie Lee on the card. Two friends of the podcast, Bruce Hamilton in there taking on Ethan Price. And Sabotage Sean Logan coming back to Glory Pro, taking on Dan the Dad. That should be a fun card. Also, Friday night, C4's got a big show up in Canada. Junior Benito defending against Josh Bishop and Bale Bronson. A lot of meat in that one. Action is back. Darian Bankston defending against Landon Hale. Jamison Shook, Tim Bosby on that card. Moving to Saturday, GCW, a little post-Rumble GCW action. The Kogar brothers, Atticus and Otis, taking on Matt Tremont and Bear Bronson. We got Cruel and Beastman, Effie versus Charles Mason. And then there's a huge Jersey Championship show going down on Sunday. It's a charity show. No hyperbole. This might be one of the biggest cards of the year on paper. Billy Starks defending her title against Effie. Paul Walter Hauser, the famous actor, is like a wrestler also now. He's taking on Mad Dog Connolly in a lumberjack strap match, which I don't know how those words fit together in a sentence, but that match is happening. In my preview, I said this match could happen in 2026 JCW or like 1986 JCP. Manders and Thomas Shire, the Cowboy Way, taking on Mance Warner and Adam Priest. That's just straight up good wrestling right there. Willow Nightingale, Mara Sade, Jonathan Gresham versus Lee Moriarty, Megan Bain and Joey Janela versus Speedball and Kevin Knight, plus a lot more. The card is just ridiculously stacked. A bunch of people coming forth for a charity on that one. That is the only 5 shows I have in the preview. That should be going up tomorrow night. Find it on my Twitter at DHagerJ15, at DHAGERJ15. That'll be pinned to the top of the page tomorrow night.
All right. I want to remind everybody to go check out the latest Cheap Pops with Primo. Primo, you want to give your fans a little insight if they hadn't listened to it yet or what you're talking about?
This time around on Cheap Pops with Primo, that's me, we talked about core memories in wrestling. Now, if you don't know what core memory is, I mean, listen to the episode. I do break it down. But not only that, I tell you what, my 3 core memories in wrestling, or at least I have more, but those 3 are the ones that stuck out to me that I talked about on Cheap Pops with Primo.
All right, make sure you go download that right now on all those podcast platforms out there. I want to remind you, too, to go check out our YouTube series if you hadn't checked it out. 6 episodes right now waiting for you on sitdownmarks.com. It's called Dreamwave Prelude, where we showcase the stars of tomorrow in Dreamwave Wrestling. So go check that out. Volume 7 and 8 coming out later on in February. So it's the last pot of January. You can probably ask yourself, so what's coming up in February, dude? Maybe. I don't know. Doubt it. Like I said, next week we're going to be talking about post Royal Rumble reactions. We're doing a podcast on that. And then the month of February, going to have 2 episodes of DB's Territory Treasures going to be coming for you to listen to. And we're going to have an episode talking about, on the flagship podcast, we're going to have an episode in February talking about the best baby faces in wrestling right now, and who's doing the best work as a baby face, who's selling tickets, who's putting butts in seats, that kind of stuff. And I also want to give you a little teaser of a new little side project we're going to dive into and see how you guys like it. We got another little podcast going to be dropping later on this year where we talk about things outside of wrestling. So just so you know, we got some different content coming out later on this year. And also, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Dreamwave Living on a Prayer.
Yes, sir.
February the 7th. Basically, that is next weekend as of time of recording this. DreamWaveWrestling.com. And also in March, this Dreamwave's little bastard sister child here, After Dark Wrestling is back. And what it is, it's ages 21 plus wrestling in LaSalle. So if you want to check that out, that'll be coming out, or that'll be March the 6th. It's at afterdarkwrestling.com. Boy, that was hard for me to get out right there. I don't know why. All right. So the road to WrestleMania starts now, as we like to talk. I'm going to get you guys out of here on this. Give me the odds of Jelly Roll being in the Royal Rumble. I'm going to say minus 110, because that motherfucker absolutely is going to be in the Royal Rumble. So, yeah.
Look, DB, you came on here and said Logan Paul might win, and now you're saying Jelly Roll's going to be in it. Like, are you saying just don't watch? Like,
basically. Don't take my word for it, but
I don't know how over Jelly Roll is in Saudi. That might be interesting, but yeah, I mean, very likely. Yeah, shoot. Now that you said that, yeah.
Primo, any odds?
I'm not very happy that you introduced that into our brains.
Right? I know.
Well, you won't be surprised when it happens.
If there's room for Jelly Roll, there's damn sure room for Finn Balor.
Oh, I know, right? Yeah, absolutely. All right, that's going to do it for Rumble Talk. We are the Sit Down Marks podcast. For Primo, Dylan, and myself, we'll see you guys next time. Keep spreading the good word of wrestling. We'll see you guys next time. Hang out for the poster coming up right after this. All right, so this is the part of the podcast where if you're watching right now on sitdownmarks.com or on Facebook, where we show Dylan an old pay-per-view poster, and he has to tell us what happened, what matches happened on that card. Now, let me say this one, man. Like, I tried to find alternates for it because I just didn't believe that this was the poster for it. But here you go. 3, 2, and 1.
Ooh, okay. So that is Fall Brawl, obviously.
Yep.
It's either 99 or 2000.
2000 is
I'm going to say 2000.
Yep.
And
right.
and I'm going to completely strike out on this one. Like,
main
that
event.
late,
What's the main event?
that late WCW. Is this Goldberg and Chronic? No. I'm going to say no by your long pause.
No, this is Scott Steiner defeated Goldberg.
Okay.
It was a no DQ match. Any guesses on the main event? Who's the champ? Tell me who the champ was.
Shoot, this is September.
Yep. 2000.
Is it still Booker?
Booker wins the belt
No,
on this
he
card
wins the
from who?
belt. Okay. I want to say Jeff Jarrett.
How about Big Sexy Kevin Nash?
Okay, yeah. I call Jeff Jarrett Big Sexy. That's just a matter of opinion.
How about Jeff Jarrett wrestled Mike Awesome on this card?
Okay, yeah, yeah. Like up through like the summer '99, I would have had this. But
Sure.
I mean, dying days of WCW, titles are changing hands like crazy. Russo's involved and he's not involved. This is a black spot for me.
Yeah. Sting defeated the Great Muta and Vampiro. Shane Douglas and Torrie Wilson defeated Billy Kidman and Medusa.
This is around the Viagra on a pole match, Lynn. If it's Shane Douglas and Billy Kidman. That's what you got to remember.
All right.
Damn, he lost his Sonic rings?
He did.
Yeah.
Come back strong next time.
1 week.
Yeah, you got 1 week to
restart the counter. This many days since Dylan got him right.